Hey everyone, Gill Gross here. Post-match, Rafael Nadal versus Felix Auger-Aliassime, round robin stage ATP Finals 2022, day 3. If you're not here for spoilers, click off the video in 3, 2, 1. FAA gets on the board his first ATP Finals victory of his career, and he hands Nadal his fourth straight defeat. First time Nadal has dropped 4 straight since 2009. He did it at this exact time of year, Paris Masters, into the ATP Finals. And Felix does it in straight sets, 6-3, 6-4, one break of serve, proven to be the difference in both sets. I thought that this was kind of an average performance by Felix's standards. Nothing crazy, very solid, very good, but Nadal was just not good enough. I feel in these conditions with Rafa playing like that, Felix would pretty much win this match every time. And I don't think Felix peaked or was incredible. I just think he did his thing. And that was plenty good enough to get through this match. The serve was dominant, as I suspected it would be. Felix did indeed kind of serve Nadal off the court. 71% first serves in. 81% first serve points won, 62% first serves unreturned, which is an enormous number. Now, that's what has been happening in these conditions. The servers have fared extraordinarily well. Just to give you an idea, because I know I've been saying that over the course of the last couple videos, here's a stat that will kind of back up what I'm saying here. The top 50 average for first serve points won on tour is 73%. That's over the course of the entire season. Average first serve points won, 73%. At this ATP Finals, the winner of the last 4 matches has been above 80%. Only Casper Ruud to open the event was below that mark. You look at Taylor Fritz, 80% first serves won against Rafa. Rublev, 82% in his win over Medvedev. Djokovic, 82% in his win over Tsitsipas. And now Felix, 81% in this win over Nadal. So Felix served great. There's no doubt about it. On the other hand, Nadal's return strategy was a little bit curious, especially on first serve. Curious, but not entirely surprising. He was trying to stand in, and that's just not the best way to make returns in play. He wasn't covering the service box as well as he normally would, and when Felix was able to locate his first serve, he was having great success. I saw plenty of occasions where Nadal even read the serve well, was there, was on it, and still missed because he just had that little time based on his return position, the sheer pace of Felix's serve. And Rafa has never been great at taking the first serve return early. It's just never been a strength. But he felt the need to do it. Why did he feel the need to do it? That's the question. My best theory, and my only theory, is that he didn't trust his defense. To me, the way Rafa goes about returning first serve, he stands back, he looks to loop that first serve return, give it some air, some height, give himself time to recover to the middle of the court, try to get as much depth as possible. And from there, he knows he's pretty much going to be defending on the next ball. He's going to have to do a lot of running, and he's going to do some hard work to get back into the point. But that's a sustainable way to try to steal a couple of first serve return points, which is all you can really expect. You know you're not going to win the majority of them. My theory is that Nadal just didn't trust his defense, didn't trust his legs, and felt like he needed to be in a better position behind his first serve return. So he stood in. It didn't really work, as is, very clear by the stats we see here. And you're only going to get a couple of chances with Felix, and as well as he was serving. And on a few of those chances, Nadal, it wasn't like a plague of missed returns when Felix was down break point, but certainly in the first game, at 15:40, first break point of the match, Nadal was right on the serve. Read it perfectly. He knew it was going T. It went T, and he still missed the return. So there was a lot of that. Now let's go to the pre-match question. Did Felix's backhand hold up? I thought that this would be a better match for Rafa because compared to Taylor Fritz, FAA has a much weaker backhand. So let's kind of address that question and kind of get into what happened in that area. Well, FAA's backhand was fine. It wasn't terrible. He hit some good ones, and he had a good strategy on it, which I'll get to in a moment. But it wasn't really tested too much. Nadal didn't put enough pressure on it on a consistent basis for that to be a big factor in the match. It simply wasn't. First of all, there were very few rallies. And we know, especially when Felix is serving, those bang points, he's not really hitting backhands. He's hitting forehands. And Nadal won the majority of the rallies. In 9+, Nadal won 9 versus 5. In 5 through 8, it was a tie, 12-12. So I just didn't feel like Felix was being asked to hit a lot of backhands repeatedly on a consistent basis. And I think when he was, the backhand wasn't under pressure because Rafa wasn't going hard into the forehand very well. He wasn't opening up the backhand side of the court. Instead, he was hitting rather predictably to the backhand when he was trading, and there wasn't a lot of depth. There wasn't a lot of quality when Rafa was going into Felix's backhand side. You saw a lot of FAA runaround forehands because Nadal just didn't take enough time away or didn't have enough pace when going to the backhand side, so Felix had enough time to run around and hit forehands. And you also saw a lot of backhands where FAA just had all day on it, all day to set up. And that's really not how you're going to coax the attackable backhands or the backhand errors. So I definitely give FAA some credit for improving his backhand compared to what it was against Casper Ruud. But also, if you just look at, was he having to hit a lot of backhands? No. Was he having to hit backhands under pressure? No. And that definitely helped him just kind of take his backhand out of the match in terms of what was deciding these points. However, for Rafa, it was one of the worst backhand performances I've ever seen from him. And it's really rare to see Nadal's backhand lose as much confidence as it did here. It's usually the rock. It's that solid wing where it doesn't create as much magic as the forehand side, but it also doesn't fluctuate as much in terms of level. He's generally pretty confident. You know what you're going to get. It's literally that kind of reliable, steady side for Rafa. But in this match, it was really, really bad. He had no confidence. He made a ton of unforced errors. He hit a bunch of bad trades into Felix's forehand, which resulted in Nadal getting hurt. And it's just very, very rare to see him lose confidence like that on the two-hander. Now, Felix was hitting his backhand down the line to get to it. He was doing that really well. He was hitting majority backhands down the line. He was doing the Andrei Rublev, only, same thing that Rublev did in Monte Carlo, which I mentioned yesterday, but also Rublev did against Medvedev to get to his forehand. It's not easy to do. You deserve credit when you're able to do it, and it was very smart by Felix. And by the way, that was another reason why Felix didn't have to hit a lot of backhands, because when he took his backhand down the line, Nadal was going cross-court with his backhand, and now Felix was just right back to the forehand. There was a key break point where Felix took his backhand down the line. Nadal went back down the line. It was too slow and weak. Felix ran around it and hit a very, very damaging inside-out forehand. These were the patterns we were seeing. Poor execution again by Nadal. If you look at a lot of those breaks of serve, or not a lot of them, the 2 breaks of serve. 3-4 in the first set, he was up 40-love. The serve melted down. He hit 2 double faults. He hit 2 first ball backhand unforced errors. And he hit a short, this was on break point, a short forehand he missed. And then on break point, he missed a forehand down the line, long. No pressure, plenty of time just missed it. On the second set, at 1-all, short forehand miss in that game. That was just a really, really shocking miss. And then a serve and volley on break point where he couldn't decide if he wanted to let the ball go, thinking it was going to sail long. At the last second, he decided to volley it, and he missed it. It's that kind of indecisiveness that just really put Nadal's lack of confidence on display in this match. So what's my take on Rafa? My take is that there are a lot of really good explanations for why he isn't playing well right now. And it is jarring to see him play like this. It was ugly out there. In this match specifically, I think it didn't get any better. I don't know if it got worse from the Fritz match, but it definitely didn't get any better. So as jarring as it is to see him play like this, I just don't think there's a reason to panic given the mentality coming into this latter half or this latter stages of the season, which I really didn't think Nadal was going to play with all of the health issues, with the birth of his child, his first child. I really didn't think he was going to play these events. He just felt like he had to. Was that a bad decision? I don't know. Let's see how he looks against this in this Casper Ruud match. If there are no building blocks there, if he just puts in another clunker, another stinker, then yeah, it seemed like playing this part of the season really wasn't a productive thing. But all it takes is one good, confident match. And let's see if he gets it against Ruud. If he just plays one good, confident match, then I think Nadal got exactly what he wanted out of Turin. I think he knew there was no chance he was going to win this event. He just feels like he needs to play these matches. He needs to try to build some confidence. So he has one more match to try to do that. In terms of the long-term takeaways, no, I just don't. I don't see this as. I don't see reason to panic here long-term for Rafa because there are so many good explanations for why he isn't playing well. If this continues into 2023 in a big way, we can start having that conversation. What's next for FAA? Taylor Fritz. Felix is 1-1. Let's see how Fritz does tonight against Ruud. Big match overall. I think we're going to get the best Felix match of this round-robin stage. The Ruud match wasn't great. This match wasn't great in terms of entertainment. Felix looked a lot better in this match, certainly. But I'm really looking forward to seeing this next one against Fritz. I think it's going to be the most engaging FAA match of this event. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.